Hare Krishna. My name is Vrajkishor from Shri. Today I am going to tell you about a beautiful pastime on the day of Hera Panchami. On the 5th day after Jagannath Rath Yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates were going to take darshan in Gundicha temple of Lord Jagannath. After taking darshan, they returned to Neelachala in great eagerness to see the Hera Panchami festival. After all the devotees like Kashi Mishra, Swarup Damodar and Shrivas Thakur were discussing a particular ras of devotion. Here, Shrivas Thakur is Narada Muni himself and Swarup Damodar is Lalita Sakhi in Krishna Leela. Swarup Damodar said, Krishna is the enjoyer of all transcendental mellows and he is subordinate to the love for his devotees. Gopis give Krishna highest pleasure as their love for Krishna is flawless and pure. Hearing this, Shrivas Thakur replied, Just see how opulent my goddess of fortune is, whereas the opulence of Vrindavana just consists of some flowers, twigs, leaves, minerals from the earth and some gunja flowers scattered here and there. Shrivas Thakur continued, upon hearing that Lord Jagannath went to Vrindavana, that is also called as Gundicha temple, Lakshmi Devi thought, how could he leave my opulence and go to see just some flowers and twigs? So, angrily, just to make a laughing stock of her husband, she arranged a very opulent decoration. And she and her maidservants marched towards the Gundicha temple. While arresting the servants of Lord Jagannath, the maidservants inquired how your Lord Jagannath had abandoned the great opulence of the goddess of fortune and just for the sake of some twigs and leaves in the garden of Srimati Radharani. Angrily, the maidservants started beating Lord Jagannath's rath with sticks. Finally, the servants of Lord Jagannath, submissively with folded hands, pacified the goddess of fortune that they will bring Lord Jagannath the very next day. Hearing this, Lakshmi Devi returned to her residence. Suddenly, Shrivas Thakur, in the mood of Narada Muni, said, Did you see how opulent my Lakshmi Devi is, whereas the gopis in Vrindavana are just engaged in boiling milk and churning them into yogurt, whereas Lakshmi Devi sits on a throne made up of valuable jewels. Hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Shrivas Thakur, oh my dear Shrivas, you are just like that of Narada Muni. Supreme Personality of Godhead's great opulence is having direct influence upon you, whereas Swarup Damodar is a pure devotee of Vrindavana. He does not even know what opulence is. Then Swarup Damodar replied to Shrivas Thakur, Oh my dear Shrivas, you fail to understand the transcendental opulence of Vrindavana. Vrindavana's natural opulence is like an ocean, whereas the opulence of Vaikuntha and Dwarka is not even a drop compared to Vrindavan Dham. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna's complete opulence is only exhibited in Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan is fully of desire trees, but the inhabitants who live there are just satisfied with its leaves and flowers. In Vrindavana, you will find unlimited Kamdhenu cows which can fulfill all your desires, but the residents who live there are just satisfied by drinking its milk. Here, the speech of people is like a song, and walking resembles dance. Water is like a nectar, and the sunlight which falls in Vrindavana is none other than the divine rays of Brahma Jyoti. Here, the gopis are the goddess of fortune, which also surpass Lakshmi, who is residing in Vaikuntha. Here, Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally resides with his dear companion, the flute. Hearing this, Shrivas Thakur started dancing ecstatically and he laughed loudly. Seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates also started dancing. After dancing for a long time, the devotees became tired, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were still dancing in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Completely absorbed in her mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were looking in her very form. Seeing this, Nityananda Prabhu offered his obeisances from a distant place. After an ecstatic dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar informed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the devotees are being fatigued. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in his external consciousness. Then all entered in the beautiful flower garden. They took their rest for a while. After that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his noon bath. Then all devotees had Jagannath Prasad and Lakshmi Prasad. After having a lunch, they went again to take darshan of Lord Jagannath in Gundicha temple. After taking darshan in Gundicha temple, they waited there for a while and were singing, did kirtan, were dancing as usual. After taking darshan in Gundicha temple, they came to Narendra Sarovar for sporting. After sporting a while, after taking a snan and sporting, they went again to Jagannath Vallabha garden, which was their residence. These pastimes continued for 8 days. After 8 days, Lord Jagannath from Gundicha temple, riding upon his chariot, returned to Neelachala Dham, and once again, Lord Jagannath sat upon his altar in Neelachala Dham. Hari Bol, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baldev, Jai Subhadra.